When you're reading reviews online on IEM that you want to buy, have you ever been frustrated at how different each review can be for the exact same IEM? One person said it has amazing soundstage, super good treble, very good bass, and another person can say it has the shittiest bass I've ever heard in an IEM ever, and a third person can say, you know what, I think it's rather neutral, and a fourth person can say, you know what, it's kind of V-shaped to me. It's top tier, it's garbage, it punch above the price point. It performs about, similar to other IEMs around the price point. It's all over the place. And you as the buyer are sitting there reading all these reviews and thinking, I'm right where I started. I still don't know if I want to buy this IEM or not. So what's going on here? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna go in and explain potentially why all of this is going on and why it's absolutely normal and it's okay. Hey friends, welcome back to a video on Giz Audio. Now this video is kind of more for your beginners out there because people who have been in this community for a while, they already know a lot of these things I'm about to talk about. And if you are a veteran in this hobby watching this video right now, I still encourage you to watch this whole video and maybe add some more of your own tips and tricks in the comment section below for the newcomers in our hobby. So the main reason why reviews are so wildly different in the audio world is because of one word: inconsistencies. There are a lot of different inconsistencies just built into the hobby. Some inconsistencies are man-made, while some inconsistencies are just made by Mother Nature, stuff we can't change. So let's talk about the man-made ones first, shall we? And a lot of you guys will know this one already. The first one is unit variations. Yes, inconsistencies in the units that are being reviewed out there. If I get an IEM and 10 other reviewers get, the same IEMs, it is entirely possible that all 11 units don't sound exactly the same. Maybe one has more bass, maybe one has more treble, or less of this, more of that. Slight differences in unit is common in this hobby. In fact, the maximum acceptable deviation between units in the chi-fi world is 3 dB, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but that's the norm here in chi-fi land. It's not a good norm, but it's the norm. Man-made inconsistency number 2 is the definition that we use to describe audio-related stuff. For example, soundstage, imaging, instrumental separation, smoothness, transience, neutral, and a lot of other terms. We might have definition for some of them that are accepted within the community, though a lot of them don't even have that. Even if we do, our interpretation of that definition could be different between each reviewer. For example, my interpretation of what wide soundstage is could be entirely different from how someone else would describe what is a wide soundstage. Now, as you can see, even with just those first 2 inconsistencies, it kind of already explained why a lot of reviews can be wildly different. There are no easy ways to fix these 2 inconsistencies, in my personal opinion. The first one, unit variations, it would require the brand to check every single unit before it leaves the warehouse. So that's not gonna happen. And with the definition inconsistencies, that's hard to fix too. Even if we come up with definitive definition for each term, the interpretation or the criteria used to evaluate each one of those terms when reviewing could still be different. Now, are you feeling a little bit more hopeless than you were at the beginning of this video? Don't worry, there's a bunch more hopelessness to explore. Inconsistency number 3, this one we're getting into the Mother Nature territory. These are stuff we absolutely cannot change, and the first one being our anatomy. We just have different ears. We have different HRTF, how the sound interact with our body before entering our ear canal, what we deem as neutral because of that difference in anatomy. It's different. My ears, my body is not the same as your ears, your body, and everyone else as well. On top of that, there's the factor of aging. Yes, a reviewer in his 60s is not gonna hear the same thing as a reviewer in their 20s, even though, let's just pretend, they have the exact same anatomy. They're like a clone of each other. In their 20s versus in their 60s, they're going to hear different things from the same IEM. And that's due to age-related hearing loss. As we grow older, we lose sensitivity in the higher regions. Our range of hearing decreases as we age, so basically what that means is we hear less and less treble as we get older. And I don't think I have to explain how that ultimately affects the overall sound signature in an IEM and how it affects reviews in general. The next inconsistency is fit. Yes, fit affects the sound a lot, and the fact that we have different ears, and also when we review IEMs, we all use different ear tips as well. Some insert their IEMs deeper into their ears, some insert more shallowly. That affects the sound tremendously. Because if you guys didn't know, different insertion depth can change the treble by quite a lot. And also, different ear tips can change the treble as well. So for example, one IEM can fit my ears perfectly. I can insert it very deeply, get really good seal, no issues at all. That same IEM might not fit as well for another reviewer. It might be shallow, it might be hard for them to get a good seal. By that fact alone, we're listening to two different sounds, even though it is the same IEM. Now, I should add this as a little caveat. The degree of differences is varied as well. Some can be more drastic, some can be more subtle, but it's still true that we're listening to different sounds if we have different fit, even though it's the exact same IEM. Now for the last inconsistencies, on top of everything else that affects our perception of the sound, we also all have different preferences. I like my female vocals clean lower mid-range. I like a good bass shelf, you know, some natural, slightly bit brighter treble, while some people like a more lusher, deeper male vocal, so thicker, lower mid-range. They want a more relaxing treble. Whatever it is, we just have different preferences. Now, when you add up all of those inconsistencies, it's not unreasonable at all why reviews are so wildly different. How the same IEM can both be garbage and top tier at the same time and still be perfectly normal. There's just a lot of inconsistencies at play here, too much for us to account for, and we don't really want to account for them anyways. It doesn't really help us. The only thing we should do, and here's my solution to you guys, is to find reviewers that are most in line with your taste. Let's say you watch this reviewer, you bought a few IEMs based off of their recommendation, and you end up liking a lot of those recommendations, then maybe that's the right reviewer for you. And other reviewers who may not share your same views, your taste, or disagree with you in many things, you can just ignore them. You don't have to watch every single reviewer and kind of put together like an average rating between each one of them on this certain IEM. I think that's too much. Just find your favorite reviewer that you trust their take on, that you know you have similar tastes, and just, you know, stick with them. Just stick to them, and chances are the purchases you're gonna make in the future based off those guys' review are gonna be good ones, because you already have good track records from their other recommendations. All right, that's it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was understandable. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. And again, if you're a veteran in the hobby, you want to share some wisdom to the newcomers, please do that down in the comment section below as well. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and bye. And on top of everything else, we all have our biases. You do too.